What if there remains one opponent, unknown to the rest of the world, to carry such power, whom Mihawk was unable to defeat? Could then one opponent yet remain in Zoro's path to becoming the world's greatest swordsman after he has defeated Mihawk? In a previous video, I discussed a theory about Shanks and his potential connection to the Celestial Dragons, during which I brought up the idea that Mihawk, his most notorious rival, shares the same iris pattern as the enigmatic Secret World King Imu. I failed to elaborate on that point, and in truth, I'm not entirely certain what this implies. Zunisha, the giant elephant cursed to walk the world seas 1,000 years ago for committing an unknown crime, also shares this trait. I think this perhaps implies Mihawk has in some way encountered Imu or the world nobles, which might make sense if Shanks also has ties to Mary Geoise. If true, this has some interesting implications for Zoro, one of the Straw Hat Pirates, and what it might mean for his quest to become the world's greatest swordsman. It's somewhat remarkable how little time was spent on Zoro's backstory in Chapter 5. In less than half a chapter, or 7 pages, we learn about Zoro's time as a student in Koshiro's dojo, and the tragic origins of his dream. Oda elaborates on the history of the village where Zoro grew up and the dojo where he trained in Volume 96 SBS. The founder of Shimotsuki Village in the East Blue was Shimotsuki Kozaburo, who crafted Kozuki Oden's two blades Enma and Ame no Habakiri. Kozaburo was the elder in Zoro's village and the father of Koshiro, Zoro's swordmaster, and the grandfather of Kuina, Zoro's childhood friend, to whom he made a vow to become the world's greatest swordsman. Kozaburo, along with other members of the Shimotsuki clan, departed from Wano 50 years before the story of One Piece began, or 9 years before the start of Oden's flashback. The Shimotsuki helped the local villagers defeat a group of mountain bandits and founded the village. In SBS, Oda implies that Zoro is somehow related to the Shimotsuki clan, despite the fact that his family name is Roronoa. This could mean that one of Zoro's parents was a local villager, and the other, maybe his mother, was a member of the Shimotsuki clan from Wano. Oda indicates that further information may later be revealed in the narrative, and the Wano arc provides the perfect opportunity. I believe Zoro's connection to Wano and his dream to become the world's greatest swordsman may be more closely intertwined with the central narrative than was at first apparent. I will explain in a future video the manner in which I believe the dreams of all members of Luffy's crew, at least in part, are related to Luffy's dream of becoming Pirate King, and the history of the One Piece world, but for now let's focus on Zoro. Following the tragic death of Kuina, Zoro's dream is to become the world's greatest swordsman, such that his name will be great enough to be known even in heaven. Oda frequently touches upon similar spiritual symbolism in relation to Zoro. Zoro wants to make his name known in the heavens. During the Skypiea arc, he states his refusal to pray to any gods. Zoro's aura when he faces Kaku and unleashes Asura resembles a demon. In Hindu mythology, Asura are powerful demigods or demons. Zoro is often branded as a demon with supernatural strength due to his prowess in battle. In Wano, it is believed that swords are bound to the spirits of those who carried them. The sword Zoro won on Thriller Bark was previously carried by Shimotsuki Ryuma, famous on Wano for having defeated a dragon, an event inspired by Oda's one-shot story Monsters. He has since lost that sword and replaced it with Enma, a sword carried by Kozuki Oden, the name of which refers to the king of hell in the mythology of certain Buddhist sects in East Asia. Wado Ichimonji, the sword he inherited from Kuina, means straight line through the path of harmony. Following his defeat by Mihawk, Zoro receives the cursed blade Sandai Kitetsu in Logtown. He tests the sword's curse against his own fortune, emerging victorious and claiming the blade as his own. Its predecessor, Nidai Kitetsu, is now in play during the Wano arc, and the original sword of this line, Shodai Kitetsu, seems to be held by a member of the Five Elders, given the similar guard and handle patterns known as the Suba and Tsuko respectively. From Zoro's 3 current swords, we can gain an understanding of his character. Branded a demon, or the king of hell, Enma, Zoro is in truth a good, honorable man who walks the straight line of harmony, Wado Ichimonji, and he fights against evil swordsmen in his quest to become the world's greatest swordsman, Demon Splitter, or Kitetsu. Zoro's quest to become the greatest swordsman in the world should lead to an ultimate confrontation with Dracule Mihawk, currently regarded as such. Yet the final conflict of the series following the discovery of One Piece is most likely to be a war against the world government. Mihawk was never a true loyalist as a member of the Seven Warlords, and now that they have been disbanded, his ties to this organization which holds power are seemingly severed. So how does Zoro's quest now align with Luffy's dream to become the Pirate King? In relation to this, I think we need to ask 2 important questions. First, how did Mihawk come to be regarded as the strongest swordsman in the One Piece world? And second, what if he isn't? I mentioned at the start of this video that the iris pattern Mihawk shares with Imu could imply some connection to the world's secret king, and perhaps more significantly, the Five Elders. Mihawk is the strongest swordsman on Earth, but what of the heavens where reside the world's nobility? As the story has progressed, we have learned that the celestial dragons, world nobles, live as gods, while those who oppose them are branded as devils or demons. The people who carry the name D, for example, are called enemies of the gods. From his introduction, Zoro is a good, honorable person, but is called a demon by the world around him. Luffy recognizes as much and invites Zoro to join his crew. In the world of One Piece, those who call themselves gods are often the true demons. The moon is frequently seen as a symbol of hope in the One Piece world, particularly in relation to those who guard the path to One Piece and await a future promised day. The clans of Wano, aside from the cursed Kurozumi clan, matched this nomenclature. The Kozuki clan, Light Moon, were allies to Joy Boy who crafted the poneglyphs upon which the true history was inscribed. The name Shimotsuki means Frost Moon. As implied in the Volume 96 SBS, Zoro himself may be an heir to Wano's history as a member of the Shimotsuki clan, to which Ryuma, Koshiro, and Kuina also belonged. Worth noting here that in Sabo's flashback, we see that Koshiro may have been working with or supplying the revolutionary army led by Luffy's father Dragon in a war against the world government. Another of the clans of Wano, Amatsuki, means Heavenly Moon, to which belonged Toki, the wife of Odin, whose devil fruit ability allowed her to travel forward through time. Toki was born in the Void Century but traveled forward 800 years into the future. We do not yet know anything about the Amatsuki clan, as none of its members have been shown during the Wano arc. To date, Toki is the only known member of the Amatsuki clan, but perhaps there is another. From his introduction in chapter 234, one of the yet-to-be-named members of the Five Elders is seen wearing Wano-style garb and carrying a katana. It would be fitting if the Sword Elder is a member of the Amatsuki or Heavenly Moon clan, and keeping with the symbolism surrounding the celestial dragons or world government being false, self-proclaimed gods. The history of Wano in the Void Century is not yet known. We don't know which clan led Wano during this lost epoch. Could, at this time, the Amatsuki have been the leaders of Wano? It's worth noting that Odin's wife Toki traveled forward in time from the Void Century, during which the current regime came to power and the world government was formed. At this time, Wano's borders were still open to the world. When Toki met Odin, she was trying to return to Wano. Her ability seemingly transports people forward through time, but does not displace them in space. She would thus already have been outside Wano for some reason at the time she jumped forward from the Void Century. Perhaps the sword-carrying member of the Five Elders is the former shogun of Wano, who ascended with the other ally monarchs to form the world government in Mary Joie. We have not seen the Wano-style garb worn by this member of the Five Elders outside of Wano. The emblem of the Amatsuki clan found on Toki's kimono appears to be a three-pronged shape encircled by a crescent moon. It may be coincidence, but this mark bears some resemblance to the hoof of the celestial dragon, imprinted upon those enslaved by the world nobles. This elder also carries one of the cursed blades of the Kitetsu line. How would he come into possession of such a weapon? Shodai Kitetsu is one of the 12 highest grade swords in the One Piece world, unlikely to be found in the hands of a non-combatant. What then of Mihawk? Could he have crossed blades with, or even been instructed by this member of the Five Elders in the way of the sword? Could this explain his potential connection to Imu? Mihawk defeated Zoro when they first met, but spared his life because he recognized Zoro's character. He trained Zoro during the 2-year time skip and is seemingly pushing Zoro to surpass him, perhaps with a specific purpose. Discover yourself, see the world, and grow strong, Zoro. However long it may take, I shall await you at the top. Strive with your whole heart and mind to best this blade, fierce one. Strive to surpass me. Mihawk's words to Zoro are later echoed by Rayleigh when he advises the Straw Hats to wait and see the world before learning the true history. Rayleigh, who knew the true history of the world, saw the potential in Luffy to surpass Roger and understood the importance of the voyage in shaping him to become the next pirate king. Similarly, we see here Mihawk sparing Zoro's life and training him in the way of the sword to eventually surpass him. What if there remains one opponent, unknown to the rest of the world, to carry such power, whom Mihawk was unable to defeat? Could then one opponent yet remain in Zoro's path to becoming the world's greatest swordsman after he has defeated Mihawk? Zoro began his journey with Luffy as a man falsely accused and labeled a demon, standing in opposition to a false god of the Amatsuki or Heavenly Moon clan who wields the cursed blade Kitetsu in the Holy Land Mary Joie would certainly be a fitting culmination to his journey to make his name known even in the heavens and become the world's greatest swordsman. If swords indeed are bound to the spirits of those who carried them, Kuina's sword, her spirit, will have accompanied Zoro and aided him in his quest to becoming the world's greatest swordsman. We may yet learn of the origins of the cursed Getetsu blades and those by whom they were created. If history has taught us anything in the One Piece world, those branded as demons are often anything but. If Zoro keeps Enma, the spirit of Odin is also with him, representing Odin's desire to fulfill Joy Boy's will and reconcile Wano's history in a fated duel against a member of the Five Elders. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, please leave a like. If you want to be notified when future videos go live, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Most important, let me know what you think in the comments section down below.